I got an offer from Amazon on a L6 senior product manager role. That was a very good experience, but simultaneously I was interviewing for others also with the IGS community. What happened was I got the help of the coaches and also the team, so that made it easy to manage these multiple interviews. I was applying to each and every product jobs on LinkedIn. Basically, I was very unprepared. I lacked strategy, didn't try to evolve with the new job market trends, and I was just going on applying that number will work and I will hit a job. That's what was happening before I was in IGS. 80% of the time I was not getting any calls. Referrals through the acquaintances and LinkedIn connections were not working at all. I was being ghosted. Even when I successfully completed an interview, which I felt I was very successful, that made me look for a career coach basically to help me in the next phase of my career. So I was exploring for coaches and platforms, and then I came across IJs. I literally went in that 3 months. I went to final round of 4 companies. Basically, I got one position which I'm working, but then I got 2 offers which I really wanted to work.
Kalyan, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to get to talk with you about your journey, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, just real quick, you landed multiple roles, and one of them you're starting here really soon. Can you just tell me a little bit about that role, real quick, and then we'll get into kind of how you got there?
Sure. Yeah, I got an offer from Amazon on a L6 senior product manager role. The opportunity came to me from the HR. So basically, an HR reached out to me, and I gave the first round of interviews and all. So that was amazing, and I cleared through the whole round. That was a very good experience, but simultaneously I was interviewing for others also with the IGS community. What happened was I got the help of the coaches and also the team, so that made it easy to manage these multiple interviews. But yeah, I'm joining Amazon next week.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, as we kind of learn about this process, first tell everyone a little bit about your background.
Sure.
So, yeah, what have you been doing?
So, yes, I have been in product management for over 10 years now. So, but I started my career as an engineer. So, I'm mostly focused on working as a platform or data PM role. So, when it comes from there, and 10 years back, it's like 2013, basically, I was a product owner. That time, nobody used to talk about product management. Nobody knew. Even in my company, they gave that role and they didn't know I was a project manager or a BA or what it is. So, my learning for product management is basically self-taught. So I use like channels like YouTube, Medium, PM books to better my skills, learn and evolve. But in the process, I have launched like multiple very impactful product for business value, which got in like 8-digit revenue generation across overall all the companies. I even increased market footprints for a lot of my deliverables, and major thing is I solve customers' greatest problems. I also have startup background, so I started my own startup and e-commerce where I had a successful exit. So yes, I have been in product for a long time, but it was mostly scrappy and learning by myself. So I'm not from an MBA background when I came to this, so it was all by doing stuff. So yeah,
I,
that's about me.
I think that's great. I think the journey into people's products career is always so fascinating and varied, from the MBA background, the engineering background, the startup background, sort of backing into product sometimes.
Yes.
But no, that's wonderful. So when you were starting your job search and before you had joined us here at IPM, what was your average week looking like for your job search?
So last year, so to give you a bit of context, last year I got impacted by layoff in the company I was working for. It was very tough for me, specifically because that was the first time I faced a layoff from a job. And secondly, I loved working in that company. And I left an offer just a couple of months back on another high growth company. And I said, no, I'm very happy here and also I'm not going to move. So it was very critical. So when I got impacted, I was in a real hurry to find a job as quickly as possible, right? So I was applying to each and every product jobs on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter, is it entry level job or a VP? I was just going on applying, and even on domains like which I have never worked on, and it was not even a close fit. Like LinkedIn tells you, right? You are this much percentage fit for that role. Even it doesn't match. It was just easy apply, go. So Basically, I was very unprepared. I lacked strategy, didn't try to evolve with the new job market trends, and I was just going on applying that number will work and I will hit a job. That's what was happening before I was in IGS.
I definitely have heard that story of the idea of sort of the spray and pray model, right? Like just spray out all the applications, hit the easy applies,
Yeah.
and and not necessarily hearing things, right?
Yep.
You're not hearing the kind of things that you want back. So what then once that was not working as well for you, what was your process? What is your process in terms of kind of like seeking out, or why did you choose to seek out IPM?
Basically, when I started like looking for the job, and I found that the market has changed a lot. I interviewed 3 years back, and from the time I'm interviewing now, it felt different. The interview structures felt different. The calls I'm getting was different. So I was basically missing the structure in translating the impact I can bring for the new organization. I was not able to do that in the couple of interviews I got at that point. So as I said, like 3 years back when I interviewed, it was a job seekers market, and I had like multiple interviews translated to multiple offers, but even the interview experience, as I said, was different. Like it was more behavioral. I was doing more behavior. It was like, okay, do this, let's go to the next round. It was something like that. It felt really like that. It was not here like that. Like even a small company was going into like product strategy, execution, and all those stuff. So I found that the employers had a lot of opportunities now to find candidates from thousands of job seekers. So it's more of an employer market. So 80% of the time, I was not getting any calls. Referrals through the acquaintances and LinkedIn connections were not working at all. I was being ghosted. Even when I successfully completed an interview, which I felt I was very successful, uh, I got rejection emails, right? So I was totally lost, no clear direction. That made me look for a career coach basically to help me in the next phase of my career, as I want to then take this opportunity that, okay, I'm looking for a job, let's make it a vertical growth. So I was exploring for coaches and platforms, and then I came across IJs as a platform where I was doing it. And that's how I was seeking and trying to find out to help
Wonderful.
myself.
Wonderful. When you started to look at the intentional product manager job search program, what were some of the hesitations or questions that you had as you were trying to evaluate it?
I think the first time I talked with Shovit, I asked him this question: what's your average success rate? How fast can I get a job, right? And the point I was coming from was that I needed a guaranteed success. I was thinking of the terms of like, oh, I have the skills, I need the job. I'm not getting, maybe this community will help, right? So but I knew I needed help. That's why I reached out. But the main hesitation was, is this the correct program for me? Will this program bring me success, right? I am already at a job loss. So will I put this money to IJS, or just keep doing what I'm doing and something will happen? That was the biggest hesitation what I was having at that point when I talked with Shobit, Tom, and other people.
For sure. So what pushed you over the edge and have you join us?
Yes, actually, IGS teaches always 3 points, but I have 4 points there. So one was biggest, and that was the most important, was when I talked to Shobit, Tom, and I think there was Sarah Wheat. Nobody pushed me to join, right? Instead, they gave me the path. So my question, like, hey, how fast can I get a job? It was not like, oh, I will find you a job in next 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. It was more about, see, this is the pipeline you have to do. This is what you need to do, and you will be in a better place to give an interview, and this is how success rate looks like, right? So that gave me a lot of confidence that it's not about selling something, but also about looking at what the pipeline looks like, what the scope looks like. Number two was, I was looking at job coaches. As I said, I was looking at career coaches, but here I was getting like multiple coaches from different interview aspect, right? If I go to a career coach, it's more about, okay, the mentality or only behavioral or something. But here I was getting behavioral, product sense, product strategy, talking with multiple coaches who had good connections. So that was a very good part. Third, very important was the community. I was able to get peer practice. There are people same as me, in higher level than me, or maybe starting on products. So different aspects. So I was not in silo. Before I was practicing in silo, I was not in silo. I can talk with people, I can get that support, right? And the fourth was the financial option. Like it ties back to the first one, the financial option, because I lost job, right? And I cannot spend a huge amount of money at that point, knowing that not having a guarantee. But the financial options which was provided, that really worked out for me, that it is related with my success. So those are I think the four things which made me cross the line to join.
That's wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's your statement about having all of these different type of coaches to cover. I think it's something that is undervalued externally when you haven't
Yeah.
experienced it, to be able to get concrete feedback from an actual person who does hiring in these various companies to say this worked really well and this didn't, because when we practice out in the real world they just ghost us or don't give us any feedback. And so yeah, I'm glad about that, and I think the community is another huge part,
Yeah.
so I'm glad that all of those fit for you. So
Y- Yeah, and on the coaches front also there is one very critical component. The coaches are not from same background, right? They are from different companies, different backgrounds. So what happens is if I'm looking at FANG or if I'm focusing, I have multiple options. If I have to go for meta interviews, I can go to coaches who have that meta experience. I can go for Amazon, I went to coaches who have the Amazon experience. And that makes it more realistic, more connected on what is happening.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's a wonderful aspect as well. I think the breadth of the coach experience and backgrounds. So yeah, I'm glad that was helpful for you. So once you did join, what was your first big aha moment once you dove into the work with the team
Yeah.
here at IPM?
The first aha moment was when I built my response for tell me about yourself. I have never heard or written a tell me about yourself. And Will, you did that for me. The first tell me about yourself, I wrote it with you, you reviewed it. It was the uniqueness just blew me, right? What I was saying, I was saying about, oh, I started working in product management 2013, this, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling the whole story, but it is so unique. It's so refreshing. And why it was because when I told it for the first time to an actual job interview, I really got the feedback that it was the most unique TMAY the hiring manager has heard. And I have heard that in every interviews, basically. Um, Whatever interviews I've done in the last 1 year, I have heard that people are saying that, oh, this is very unique. So yes, that was the most unique thing, and that showed there is a difference. Then it was the stories, right? I star method. Everybody knows about it. You do YouTube search, you do ChatGPT search, it will tell you the star method. But the uniqueness, what you can build in the star method with the hook, then in the actions, dividing the actions based on research, planning, and real actions, right? That's very unique in the perspective. So when I start giving those interviews, it shows that people are very interested, listening, they're understanding, right? So yeah, I think those are my biggest aha moment that okay, I felt I was doing everything right, but there is so much of uniqueness I could have brought, so much of strategy I could have brought in my interview preparation.
I'm so glad, and I remember you and I working on it, and
Yeah.
the transition from being sort of a let me tell you everything I've ever done to let me really talk to you about why I'm great for this role. And so, with that, once you were equipped with all of this, you ended up landing a gig. Can you walk us through that process? Tell the story about how you landed this role at Amazon, and how did the program help you?
Yes. So I have to take a step back to give a little bit of context on that front. So when I was doing this initial gathering with Shobit, Tom, and everyone to understand this, they said me, hey, 3 months of good effort, and if you do all these things correctly in the 3 months, you will get a job. But what happened was when I joined last year, it was just in January. Immediately after that, I got a contract position. And I talked to Shobit, I talked to Tom, and the main thing was like, hey, I need some salary going forward because I have to help my family. And so they said that, okay, it may divert you from this program, but you have to do what you need to do. So I took that contract position. So I was not totally involved with the community, what was predicted, right? But I used to be regularly involved. I finished my task, whatever the stories are there. I did some mock interviews going forward. But when my contract was ending at the end of the year, so I started full focus, like 110% focus from October, right? And it is practically the 3 months. In January I got an offer. So that is very exciting. But the overall, what I did was, yes, I used to do regular mocks from the strategy. I In the strategy sense, what I did was there were a lot of coaches, but I brought my focus to a couple of coaches because I had some restrictions. I cannot move outside of this area and all those things. So maybe meta is not an option. So I was focusing on coaches who follows or who have the expertise on the companies what I am looking for, right? Amazon or maybe Microsoft and all. So I focused on coaches on that instead of going to all the coaches and doing interviews. I focused on them to get my strong higher rating in my stories. Once I got the strong higher rating, I can go to different coaches and then play out different scenarios because then I'm properly set. Same, I started doing product sense. I was not doing product sense, so I started getting more into product sense. I attended group sessions. It is a very, I will say, people do not talk about that much, that group sessions, but it is really, really powerful because group session is something where you can really build the skill. You can listen to others ideas, and that broadens your mind because sometimes one-on-one is about you, coaches giving you feedback, but group session there are 6 7 other people or 10 other people giving their ideas also, which may be unique. So I think that was a very big game changer. So I started diligently doing all those things, right? And other thing what I did was, you cannot have a lot of stories. I have worked in 10 years in product, so I may have like 30 stories of from there, but that will not work because 10-year-old stories doesn't matter at this point. I need to be very fresh. So that helped with working with a couple of coaches was I broke down the stories in different segments. So one core story and then have different areas. So that was the good strategy work which I did with the coaches. And yeah, that made me prepare to keep giving interviews and that. And I literally went in that 3 months. I went to final round of 4 companies. Basically I got one position which I'm working, but then I got 2 offers which I really wanted to work.
That's awesome. Wonderful success. And I agree with you. The group part I think is under talked about, under
Yeah.
discussed. The community is fantastic. They will celebrate with you. They'll build you up when you're having a bad day or you didn't get that next
Yeah.
round. It's a really beautiful part of the community, and I'm glad that you were able to really connect into it after the contract ended and make such a great progress for you. So moving on just a little bit, if you had to describe the intentional product manager job search program in your own words, how would you describe that?
I will say it's a stepping stone to success for me, basically, right? What I targeted, I received that. I targeted a vertical move, so I got a vertical move. I targeted for a job. That's a maybe goal zero. I got that job, right? So it's a stepping stone where lot of people from diverse backgrounds, because I know people who have a lot of product experience, they are like VPs or directors, and I know people who are just want to come into product. They have 2 years 3 years of experience in engineering and they want to come into product. Everybody can come in and start utilizing this platform and gain knowledge and do that. So instead of reading 5 books, you can actually come here, talk with people, practice, learn, and get that same exposure with various level of diversity in the knowledge diversity, basically, to get that rolling. So yeah, I think IJS or IPM is that one where if you want to be a successful product manager, it is not about just finding a job, but it's also about enhancing your skills, learning ways, because the storytelling, right? The narrative way of storytelling you can implement in your work also, right? Like in Amazon, where I'm joining, they don't follow PPTs, they have documents, right? The way I am prepared documents here for my interview preparations and all, I can put that narrative structure there. So yeah, it's an amazing platform for that part.
That's great. Yeah, I think the storytelling that happens in interview prep is so transferable into product work.
Yes.
And as you start working on PRFAQs at Amazon, the opportunity to write that press release style story of what the
Yeah.
success is, I think you'll find that it translates well. At least I hope it does. In your experience, who do you believe the program is perfect for, and why do you think it would be perfect for them?
See, as I said, I think it is perfect for not just people who are looking for a job, but it is perfect for people who wants to move to product, who wants a vertical growth into product, because at the end of the day it covers every of those aspects. And even if it is a huge community, a lot of people, you get individual focus on your goal. The coaches, what I have worked with the coaches, they don't generalize, okay, this people is doing that, that's the framework and I will just rate you in that framework. But the coaches do the work based on your approach, what you want out of this program. And that is the big differentiator. It's not about changing the whole idea of what you want to do, but helping you achieve that. So this program is good if you want to come to product management. You have very less experience. I was talking with one of my peers actually yesterday, and she had like 1 year experience in product management. Before that she was a data scientist, and she was talking about, oh, I wanted to do this and all, and this program is helping so much. I have also talked with people who are like VPs and even like CPO level in the program, and they also wanted something new. They are learning something new every day from here. So yeah, I think it fits for everyone. You just have to have your strategy very clear, that what you want, what do you want to get out of that, right? And if you can translate it to the coaches, it is amazing. They will help you on that front.
That's awesome. In terms of wrapping this up, if you had anything that you'd love to share with people watching this video, what would that be?
One thing is, mindset is very important. And I didn't talk much about this whole interview process also. I missed that part, but mindset is really very important. I worked with Yash. I know he's not with IJS at this point, but Yash was amazing. He helped a lot in terms of mindset, that because I was very frustrated. I was feeling like a loser. I was not getting a job. I was doubting myself basically, that, hey, I have worked in product this long. What I am doing wrong, right? The imposter syndrome, that I'm not getting a job even in any company. Yash helped a lot on that, right? Even like before the interview, I was preparing and doing that. He makes strategies for me in that level, that, oh, focus in this manner. Don't have to go there. You have done this preparation, do that. And that translated amazing in my this final rounds of interviews what I gave, because 24 hours before I used to done, no more practice, nothing, and all those things. That's the one part. Second part was insights. Like, this is a very unique thing, and it is from Sandesh. He told me. So I was always interviewing at one, like when I'm doing mocks and all, I was doing in a different room, and coming to an interview, I come to a single room and focus on actual interview and everything. So Sandesh gave me a story and told me that, hey, do the mock in the same place, do the everything in the same place. Don't change your place. And I saw the difference, because before October, I was doing that. And after October, I started doing what Sandesh said. And every interview I get, I went to the final round, I got an offer, basically. So it was a huge difference. I don't know if it is for that or my overall practice, but it was really good. Also, the other thing is, build relationship. You are in a community, build relationship with people, build relationship with coaches. It's not about an teacher student experience, that go give your interview, give your mock, and walk out of there, because that helps a lot. When I was interviewing, I had interviews with Josh, right? I was doing with Josh, and Josh was like, hey, tomorrow you may have an interview, but I'm not going to be lenient. If you fail, you fail the interview. That's all. Even he gave me lean higher before Amazon one round of interviews. He was very strict. Sandesh, he was in India, right? At that time, he used to give me slots at like 9, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock to do interview preparation. So be open, build a relationship, because that goes a long way in doing it. And focus, like, what's your main goal? Do you want that job? Means you have to click that one offer, right? That's all. So focus on that and go for that. I will say that's all is the main output of this.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. And I agree. The mindset piece is amazing. The community piece, super valuable. Well, congratulations. I'm super excited for you. Best of luck in your new role and taking all of these skills forward. And thanks so much for taking the time and chatting with us today.
Sure. Thank you, Will. Thanks a lot.
If you want to be one of our next success stories, make sure you book a call with us. I've left a QR code for you to scan. Go to our apply page, book time with us, and chat about your career and your journey to your dream product management role.